You have, let's face it, the fathers aren't the fathers that we've had in the past. We're struggling in that area, and we need positive father men figures. They're an important part of our heritage, and I believe that, so, I mean, I've spoken at fathering conferences, and, it's just not a man or woman thing. It's just about models.
It's
not at all, because women, are becoming ever so much more. They're allowed to blossom so much more today than they were once just suppressed, which I believe is great, right? And we have some wonderful women in our country, and in each of our communities we have women that modeling for not only the young ladies but for the young men as well. Yeah. And we need to teach our young boys to be respectful of women, and you see it in the papers. There's a lot of disrespect and very poor actions when it comes to young men, the way they treat young women. And our prisons are filled with those who have made terrible decisions. So it's up to us, I believe. Those of us who were raised with a little different.
What base is that respect under? Do you remember?
Well, respect is not a base. It's one of the players on the bottom of the ninth field.
I don't have it in front of me, but...
Yeah, respect and responsibility. They're outfielders. Perseverance is the catcher, of course, because the catcher is getting beat up all the time. And so, but you know how important perseverance is in our lives. In today's economy, and man, it's one of the things I'll be sharing with these folks today about the power of perseverance. You've got to be able to persevere. You got to be able to. When life throws us these curves, you have to get back in the batter's box, and you got to keep swinging. And you might swing and miss a lot, but some of the greatest hitters in baseball struck out the most, but they also hit the most home runs. Your Babe Ruth, your Henry Aaron's, Barry Bonds, the big home runners, they struck out a lot. And if they quit when they struck out a couple of times, I can't do this. No, that's not what it's about. You got to get back and you got to keep persevering.
I sing to my little Grace, little girl, I sing, I am the thinker who thinks my thoughts. I have the power to shape my life. Don't even ask me why I'm sharing that, but, yes, get back in there.
Well, just
get rid of those
Just so you don't ask me to sing that.
Why?
Because the camera would break and our show would end in 10 minutes. We'd be done, just 10 minutes into the show.
I digressed for a moment. I digress. I get childlike, like you
it's
too,
okay.
And that's where it comes from.
That's a part of life, is being able to look at life on the lighthearted side. Sometimes we take things way too seriously.
Well, yeah.
So it's a great thing to be able to just relax and enjoy things. And, hey, we mess up or we digress.
We can
laugh about it. We can laugh about it.
Wow.
And have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
So what would life be without fun?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Let me ask you this: what if a guy, we were talking about it isn't a guy or a girl thing, but what if a guy said, what about all this positive stuff? I'm acting as a guy right now because I had somebody that said that to me. This guy said, well, I especially don't care for guys who are so positive. What do you have to say about that?
Well, go ahead. Be negative. Be the opposite then. Just be negative there, young man. You just think all the bad things you want and see where that gets you. If you don't like positive, well, be the opposite.
Do you think it attracts it?
What?
Do you think the positive attracts positive and the negative attracts negative, or?
Well, certainly.
Or is it a perspective
Well, that's
thing?
one of the reasons that choices are very important for all of us, but in particular young people. The choice they make, the kind of people you hang around with. And if you hang around with negative people, you're going to have a tendency to be negative yourself. You hang around with positive people or people that make positive decisions, you're much more likely to make positive choices in your own life. Absolutely.
So what is the lifestyle of being a certified public speaker?
That's just words.
Okay.
Just a title. It's kind of like this ring.
Yeah.
It's just a ring, right?
It's a very pretty ring.
It's a World Series ring, but you know what? It's just a ring. this isn't who I am.
Right.
This trophy isn't who I am.
Right.
And a certified speaking professional is not who I am. It's something that
Who are you?
Recognition. I'm a guy who has learned from the journey from the penthouse of a World Series and championship in my rookie year in the big leagues with the New York Mets to a guy who was traded to the Kansas City Royals, and I was a starting catcher. I was in the position that I had worked so hard since I was about 14 or 15 years old to be there. And then a shoulder injury got me.
Right.
Battled to come back from that. A couple years later, realized it wasn't going to happen. Had to make a transition into the real world. And as I was making that transition, just 3 weeks into that, I was at a doctor, and they told me I had major health issues. In less than 6 months, I was on dialysis.
Yes.
I was taking an IV treatment once a month. It cost about $3,000 to pop. I was sleeping with a breathing machine every night. Within a year, I was given the gift of life from my first of 3 kidney transplants. That's still not who I am. After I went on, had the first transplant, major medications, side effects, and I had lost a lot, going from the apex of my dreams to not just normal business world or normal life, but then I lost my health. They say if you got, you can lose the economy, money, all that, but if you got your health, you still got it. Well, I lost that. And that combined with the side effects of medication took me to a place that I know I'm not the only one, but I was in the basement of my home with a loaded .357, and I was ready to quit. But from that point to today, some 17 years later, that's who I am. I'm a guy who's learned an immense amount about life in that journey. From the highs, most young men don't get to fulfill that dream of being a professional athlete that most young boys have. And most 30-year-olds aren't relying on machines to keep them alive or somebody else's organs. So from that high and that lows, I've learned a great amount, I believe, about life and the things that are really important in life. And it's not a World Series ring. It's not a CSP designation. Life is about making a difference in the lives of others. There's the key for me. That's who I am. That's who I am when I'm at my best. And when I'm at my worst, when I'm struggling with the health issues, when I'm tired from this trip tomorrow, it'll be the juice from being here and sharing with people, with your audience, with the audience here at the hotel. That's what will get me through. That's the juice. That's who I am, is one who has learned that the more you give, the more you get. It comes back to you.
Yes.
A great saying.
Yes.
A friend of mine, Zig Ziglar, said it this way: you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want.
That's right.
And here we are in Johnny Appleseed country.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The ball club, the tin caps, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this morning at breakfast, I found out what the tin caps are about. It's a Johnny Appleseed thing. And one of my favorite sayings, I just ran into this about a year ago, and it fits right in with where we're at here in Fort Wayne. It goes like this: anyone can count the seeds in just one apple, but no one can count the apples in just one seed.
Wow.
I mean, that's what Johnny Appleseed understood. By one seed, he was planning, it was uncountable, the impact of that one seed, and that's who I am. I'm a person that feels that if I did not have this opportunity to use what was some very difficult times in a life,